Let's straighten up the camera. Yay! Happy New Year from me and from Cookie. Woohoo! 2021. Are you excited for 2021? Hi. Happy New Year. Puppy kisses. If you are new, hi, my name is Athena Beth Black, and for the last 10-ish years, I have been studying and practicing various forms of witchcraft, Wicca, and paganism, etc. On this channel, we look for magic in the mundane and how we can enchant our everyday lives. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, please stick around. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell. I will also let you know I have a co-star who it wasn't intended that he would always be here eating my hands and biting me, but you know, sometimes things happen. And we have a noisy co-star. So anytime you hear weird noises, I give you my apologies. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. Okay, this is my New Year's Eve / New Year's video. Now, I wanted to go ahead and let you know I recorded beforehand, and I really had hoped to get this video out to you before today, but it didn't happen. And in a way, that's a good thing because it means I was living in the moment rather than recording the moment. You know, I have recorded my New Year's Eve's rituals before, and I like having that to share, but you probably know from your own life, anytime you pause to record something, you're kind of taking yourself out of it a bit. At least that's how I feel. So yes, it's incomplete, but that's okay. I still want to put it out there for you. I also will go ahead and spoil the ending. In the video, I'm talking about where I'm going to have a fire, because I know I always have a fire with New Year's. Even if I'm in a place that doesn't have a fireplace, I use my lighters, but I have certain parts of my yearly ritual that do require burning things. So I'll go ahead and play what's already been recorded, and then I'll come back and I will let you know what happened. All right, stay tuned. Hey guys, it's me Athena with a jiggly selfie stick. Welcome back to my channel and happy almost New Year 2021. Can't get here fast enough, can it, right? Except I need to prep. I'm not ready. Fun fact, did you know that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is probably in my top 2 to 3 favorite holidays, sabbats of the year. It's true. I love the whole ritual of out with the old, in with the new. And so that's what we're doing today. We're prepping for New Year's Eve. You haven't seen inside too much. Inside my dining room, I guess you could call it. I mean, yeah, that's where the table is. So it's a dining room. It's also a classroom. That's over there is where my kid attends 5th grade. And behind you, in an area you will not see, is where I work. So I can keep my eye on him. And I do. He gets a lot of this and a lot of this. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, I guess that should be a resolution. Don't threaten your child with long fake fingernails. Aren't they so pretty? I can only have those because I'm not actually working right now because I can't type in these. I don't know how y'all do it with your long nails. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So right here, I have to tell you, I'm living with a shameful secret, and I'm going to expose myself right now. God, I'm not going to expose myself, please. No worries. But I'm going to share with you something that I really feel awful about, and I'm hoping I can make a change. You know, 2021, it's gonna be a year of change, everybody. But anyway, that right there, y'all, is a real fireplace. It is not a gas fireplace where you push a button. That thing burns wood. It goes up in a chimney outside. It smells good. I haven't had a fire in that thing in, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe longer. We used to do fires every so often, and then we went a while without having any, and then I got to the point where I'm scared to light a fire. I'm worried. There's nests in there. I'm worried I'm gonna start a fire and it's gonna burn my whole house down. And I'm using that fear as a really crappy excuse or reason for never using this. Do you guys? I mean, I know. I'm sorry. I need to quit holding this stupid selfie stick. Hi, how are you? This is my hearth. This is the most wonderful thing. This and the skylights in my kitchen are the two most wonderful parts of this house to me. But I don't put to use some of these wonderful things, such as this fireplace. And my reasoning, as I said already, is I'm afraid to use it. But I gotta push past that, you know? We have fire extinguishers. I will make sure before I do anything that I look and, you know, really do my best to make sure it's safe. Now, I could probably call a chimney sweep, and maybe Bert would come and chimchimery, whatever, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll tell you right now, I'm not gonna do that. Oh my God, my animals. But I wanted to show you this beautiful, beautiful fireplace, and with you, look inside and see what's in there. I hope it's not a family of black widows, because that is another fear of mine. I don't usually go around fearing black widows, but I know that somebody in my family had a story about sticking their head in the fireplace, looking up to see if there was any blockages in the chimney. There was no fire, guys. This person stuck their head in and a freaking black widow came down like in their face. And so I'm having visions of poisonings dance in my head, and I don't enjoy that. Okay, so maybe moving my stockings out of the way. This one, you may or may not have seen my name on it. This thing is almost 50 years old. My great grandmother made this for me when I was born, and I was only like 2 months old, my first Christmas. And this thing's like 5 decades old. Hand knit, little elf on it, super cute. This one is my second child. When my mom Puffy painted his name up here. And when she passed away, I started using her old stocking that she had for him rather than the stocking I used to use for him because it's more sentimental. This giant monstrosity is my oldest, the first grandbaby. Wow, look at that. My grandmother made this for him long, long, long ago. Hey, you don't get to have this. Gigi, 1997 is when this one was made. She's long gone now, but this thing was obviously bigger than him when she made it. No other child, none other of my babies got one quite so big. Did he leave stuff in there? Oh yeah. Okay, this is Poochie's. There's nothing super special about it other than it's cute. I can't remember if he picked it out or how we got this one. He doesn't even have a name on it, so that's kind of lame. Luna and Cookie, right? I gotta get Cookie's name on here. All right, so that's the stocking story. The ex-husband who lives in the basement, he has a nondescript red one that his mom bought him. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm scared. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a dead stink bug right there. Nice! Let's look inside. What are we gonna see here? Ugh, dead stink bug. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna need a vacuum. There's a few stink bugs in here. Oh my gosh. Giant bumblebee thing. So the first thing we're gonna do is vacuum this thing out. But then there's wood in there from long ago. There's soot. Yeah, this thing's gonna need some cleaning. That's something I'm gonna do today. Because my goal is to be able to make a fire. I don't know how this thing closes. Turns out I shouldn't have opened it. There we go. My goal is to make a fire here or out in my sacred space, but my sacred space is awful. It's a huge mess. I haven't cleaned it. Let's show you what we're dealing with there. Walk with me, won't you, through a very messy kitchen. Okay. So I'm gonna, oh, you can see too much. Yeah, these are not Halloween. They stay up all the time. But let me turn you around. My sacred space looks awful. It's a huge horrible mess. My little fire pit's over there covered. So I'm gonna need to get out there and move some of these leaves out of the way, clean up, get it at least sort of ready so that I can do an outside fire if I don't do an inside fire. I love, love, love to burn away things on New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. We burn away old spices and herbs and materials that are way past their prime and that are no longer useful. You could make a giant like incense slash mojo bag and burn it. I also like to burn bay leaves. Man, I love to burn me some bay leaves. Even when I'm not at home, if I'm somewhere else and I can't do a real fire, I'll still burn bay leaves. We did that last year with my sister's family. It was really fun. It was wild getting her and her husband, especially her husband, involved because, yeah, it was just wild. And so now I'm going to do a quick little cleanup. See you in a few. Okay, welcome back. Isn't it amazing the difference an angle and a ring light make? Yeah. It's all illusions. I use glamour magic in these videos. And by glamour, I mean ring lights and high angles so the double chin isn't quite as noticeable. Ding! So I ended up cleaning off the sacred space, getting that all prepared, and also getting the fireplace ready to go. And when push came to shove, I was really, really glad that I didn't have to go outside. Poochie, formerly known as Poochie, but my child, who's now 11 and a half, and really way too cool to be called Poochie anymore. But anyway, that kid was here, and also his dad was here. Speaking of which, he just walked in the door. So since they were both here, I had to do something where I still got my witchy woo going, but it wasn't too over the top. The life of me. My kid is home and Cookie is heralding in the return of the sun. Okay, let's try this again. So I ended up having both places prepared for New Year's, and we used the inside fireplace, and it was glorious. It really, really was. We waited until 11-ish to even build the fire because we don't have a ton of wood. The wood that we did have had been in the garage, and it was old. It went up like paper, but that's okay. It was nice. As I was saying a moment ago, since his dad was also here, and he's in no way woo at all, I wanted to keep it, reasonable, but still spiritual. And that's what we did. So let me tell you how it went. As mentioned, around 11 o'clock or so, Poochie and I each had a sheet of paper that we wrote on. We didn't share it with each other. And I said to him, write everything about 2020 that you hate and you want to get rid of. And especially stuff that you might have control over. I mean, obviously we want to say stuff about the pandemic, but things specifically that you were involved in or that you don't think went well and that you want to burn and get rid of. So you can start fresh. And I didn't read what he wrote. I wrote my own, filled up the page. It's mainly stuff I'm working on with myself, stuff I'm not going to share, of course. And then I did say, as he was folding it, I stopped him, and his dad was right there, so he heard me and he didn't care. But I just said, make sure you fold away from you, and when you turn it counterclockwise, Witterson, and fold it away from you, and on and on. And he didn't ask why, because he lives with me, and he's cool with what I do. And we put those aside, and then we each had 3 bay leaves. Usually I do more, but honestly, I was a little bit light on the bay leaves. Didn't have a whole lot. And I gave him a Sharpie, and I said, now on the bay leaf, I want you to write one word on each one of something you want to bring in this new year. Now, in the past, I used to use bay leaves and burn things I didn't like, but I have learned since then that bay leaves are prosperity. They're like positive, and like you can burn them in your house in lieu of sage. You can burn them to increase prosperity and safety in your home, so on and so forth. Wrote on each bay leaf 3 things we wanted to bring in this year. I did say before he did it, I said, don't pick stuff like a PS5. That's not what it's about. It's more about, you know, you could put stuff like friendship or happiness, things like that, bigger things. So he did that and I did that. As it got closer, when we had about 5 minutes left, I told him to open the back door. I've read in some traditions you open up a window right before midnight to let out the old bad spirits and let in newness. And so we opened up the back door with the little screen, and I said, let's come on over here. We're going to burn the negative ones. So we did that. Again, we did this before 12. We burned each of our sheets of paper, and I had him look at it, you know, like be focused, because he was looking at everything. And I just said, I want you to watch it burn. I want you to watch it go up in flames and burn to ash, because you're letting it go. It's gone. And so we did that. And then after the new year started, we burned our bay leaves immediately. First, we had Happy New Year. We yelled. I hugged my kid first, gave him a hug and kiss, and then I went in and hugged the ex, because, we're on friendly terms. And I wanted to, there's also a lot of traditions about the first person you see needs to be a tall, dark-haired man, yada, yada. And my ex happens to be a tall, dark-haired man. He even went outside and came back in, unrelated. I considered kissing him, like on the cheek or something, or getting a kiss from him. He would have been totally cool with that. He's currently single, but no, I don't want to set that precedent in the new year of like, oh look, I'm still hung up on this guy. No. It's time to move on from him. As soon as the hugs and the kisses and the yells were over with, we went ahead and we burned our bay leaves. And again, I would hold it up to him and say, look at it. Okay, think about it. And did mine. We had some non-alcoholic cider that we all toasted. It was great. It turned out really, really nice. I ended up staying up to like freaking 3 o'clock. There's a video game I really like, an app, a couple games on my phone that I know I shouldn't have done after the new year, because I really, really do believe that what you do on January 1st does set precedent for your year, and that you need to do a little bit of everything that you're hoping to start. So I'm recording a video today because I want that to be something I do more in the new year. I'm going to work with some tarot, because I decided, rather than have a bunch of resolutions, the first one I want to work with, the thing I want to learn about more finally, is tarot. I'll go ahead and show you right now what I'm using for that. I bought this book a long time ago after hearing her interviewed on a podcast. You guys know Mary Greer. I think didn't she pass away this year? But this is an actual workbook that you write in and you use for your tarot. I want to use this on my tarot journey. I know a little bit about tarot, and I have a tiny collection of cards, which I've shown you before. If I remember, I'll include it below. Also, while I'm thinking of including links below, if it's made public, I will also share at least one video I've done, 1 or 2 videos I've done for New Year's rituals, in case you're curious. It's a little late now that it's New Year's Day, but that's okay. If you don't see them linked, it probably means they're not public and they're over at Patreon. Okay, Patreon information below also. Okay, so I'm going to be using this. I had high hopes for this. I'd be a little disappointed. I had the calendar version of this for 2018, I think it was, where it's a coloring book calendar. I don't need another calendar because I already use a planner that's kind of involved. And I thought, oh, this will be great a tarot journal, yada yada. And it might be great. I haven't read it yet closely, but I will say there is not much when it comes to words in here or guidance. It's mainly a lot of blank space. And if you like coloring, it's groovy. Like, you know, this is towards the beginning. So I haven't pulled cards for the year yet, but if I do, I might put them here. I don't usually like to pull them for the year. I usually like to pull them for the season. So it does give a little bit of info. Okay, I'm glad there is some like tarot basics for the beginner. If you're not a beginner, you probably wouldn't want it. Stuff about the major arcana, and literally each card they're summing up in like a tiny little paragraph. How to read your tarot cards. This will be good. I mean, I read them very intuitively, but I also know a little bit about the numbers, the numerology side. Troubleshooting, furthering your readings and intuition. And then here's another page. You can just color, fill in your cards. But after you finally get past the beginning part, ooh, hold that thought. I like this. By the way, all of these are blank on the back, which I always appreciate, because then you can color with marker or whatever and it's not going to go through. Or you can be like me and rip out the pages that turned out decent and put them in your book of shadow. We've already talked about that lately. I love that. The Moon Tarot, and then Wheel of the Year. Love, 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 love. Moody Tarot. Happy cards. That's funny. We're using the dot grid. I know a lot of people who do that bullet journaling stuff, love dot grids. I never figured out how that works, but there's stuff like that in here. Creating spreads. After that final one, at last, this is what you have a ton of. I'm not sure how I feel about all this blank space. I can't imagine I'm going to put anything super great in that. I can't read what it says, but I did notice on the back of some of these pages is teeny little, oh, I love that. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay. So I'm noticing there's tiny writing here. It goes with this page. Okay, I like that now that I'm looking at it. So this has pillars, and it says a sensible middle ground or easy passage through two obstacles. How, and then 3 questions. How can I balance and stabilize my energy? What is the path of least resistance? What is an inspired yet easy solution? Oh, so you can journal in there. I don't like writing when there's no lines, but I can get over it. Here's a magician's table and questions. Ew. I like this. Okay, I take it back. I totally love this book. This says for the magician's table, making magic out of the mundane. Hey, welcome to my channel. The energy of the physical world. The bench, taking time to observe, learn, and enrich your skills. Girl, I need to do that. 3 questions. What is my unseen power? What energy am I creating right now? What forces are at play and working to my benefit? Oh my God, I love this. Oh, and I didn't notice because my vision sucks. There's dot grids. Can you see if I do an extreme zoom? Very light dot grids, so that will help me write straight if I want to, and I guess use it for whatever they said over here, how to use your dot grids. All right. How cute. Okay, I totally love this book now. I don't remember how much it costs. Of course, got on Amazon, which I'm going to stop doing soon. I say. I think it was like 15 bucks. So I'm going to use these 2. These will be my learning cards. I like them because they're in this hard tin. I can keep them in my car back when I used to drive. I can keep them wherever I'm going without worrying about ruining them. And I absolutely adore the size. I love it when cards are the actual size of playing cards or even smaller. These are actually even smaller, I think. I have a hard time shuffling and I like the small size. These are my learning cards. I always have heard, and I kind of also believe that when you, this is just my opinion, and it's the opinion of someone who I respect, I think when you are learning tarot and you want to learn it, start off with the Smith Rider-Waite cards, okay? You can go from here to all the different fun kinds, and I have, you know, a number of different cards that are fun. Right now I have the Muka ones out over on my altar, which I'm not going to go get right this second. They're actually pretty similar to these, but I want to learn on the OG one cards. So my first priority as far as learning is tarot. That's my resolution. If it takes me the whole year, then it's my whole year resolution. I may not go past that when it comes to what I'm learning. I have to always be learning something. It's just my nature. As far as my spiritual side, I've already talked about it. I'm going to be hopefully working on this. This will feed my spirit and my growth there. Also content for videos, because I think I am going to go forward. I don't want to jinx anything, but my intention is to go forward and do a series on this. This would last the whole year though. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So that's like my diving deeper in myself and working on my spiritual side. I have a couple other goals that I'll just keep to myself right now, because I kind of am of the belief that don't talk about it too soon, or you might jinx it. It might weaken your resolve. I heard an interesting fact the other day, or I think it was a fact, that you know how they talk about the importance of visualization, and how when you visualize something, your brain doesn't know the difference between it happening for real or just in your imagination. And that one of the reasons people get so excited about resolutions and then they don't follow through with it is literally just declaring your resolutions in your brain. It's like, yes, I did it, check, because you're excited and you're talking about it, and then you know, your brain kind of feels like, all right, did it, next. Or it's, here's what I think, it's super easy to have these big dreams and then to actually do the heavy lifting. That's where I know I fall off of things. If you have resolutions, I would say the best way to actually achieve what you resolve is to make sure you have planned it out, like planned backwards. Like you have to have a due date. You have to have a checklist, kind of something. It has to be, like I shared in a video forever ago, it has to be a SMART goal. It has to be specific. You can't just say, I want to get healthy. How will you know when you're there? It needs to be measurable. Like you'll know you're healthy when you can do this, right? Specific. It has to be measurable. Like I just said, don't just say get healthy. You're going to say, I'm going to increase my steps to a minimum of 10,000 every day. That's something you can measure. You can measure it on your Fitbit or whatever you might have. And you can write it down. I find when I have actually succeeded, I will use my wall calendar, such as this one, and I will write the numbers every day, or my little planner. I'll write the numbers every day of how many steps I did, how many steps I did. It has to be attainable. You can't go from couch to marathon in a month, right? You can't say, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. No, you're not. If you do, it won't last the whole week, my guess, or more than a week or so. Because it has to be something you can actually live with in your life. You have to be able to attain it, okay? It's better to do small, achievable goals rather than a huge, long shot goal that it's going to be a long time till you get there. It's so much better to have those little wins along the way. It has to be, what is R? Specific, measurable, attainable. I honest to God can't remember what the R means, what the R stands for. Remember, maybe that's it. I know T is time bound, like, or timely. Put a due date, plan backwards. Say by the end of January, here's where I want to be. If that's too big, say by this time next week, here's what I want to be, where I want to be, and where I'm going to work towards. Gosh, I wish I could remember R. I could stop this and go look it up. That's what I'll do. I can't not do that. Please hold. Okay, I looked it up. R is for relevant, and that one's a forgettable one to me, only because I feel like in my world, I'm going to pick something that's relevant to now. I think that goes really closely along with, is it attainable? Is it something useful to your life? But I don't think it has to be. Maybe if I wanted to take an oil painting class, I wouldn't say that's relevant in my life, other than maybe I want to exercise some creativity. I'm not doing that. It's cool. that's resolution stuff. Let's move on from that. I'm almost done with this video. It's already going to be too long, but I just wanted to go ahead and share my newest calendar. I've been getting one of these every year since I declared to myself that I was on the witchy path. So, you know, probably almost 10 years, I would say. I love these so much. I love having it next to my mirror where I, you know, brush my teeth and get ready for bed or whatever. It always has art that I love. I love the etching type of art. It always has a little bit of information, even a little spell and your correspondences for the month. And just for today, I'm not going to do this every day, but back in the old days when I first got one of these and I was new to the path, I used to go by the color of the day. And so today the color is rose. So I found the closest thing to rose in my closet. I won't be wearing it all day because it's a little on the snug side, as is pretty much all my clothes, but it's a rose color. Tomorrow the color's indigo, then amber. I'll tell you, I don't have amber. And white, I don't wear white. So I won't necessarily stick to this, but when I was first starting out, I used to dress according to the color of the day because I wanted to. And if I don't have the clothes, I would at least carry a crystal that was that color, you know, or have jewelry that was that color, or even nail polish, you know. It's just a fun way to do a little witchy check-in every day that, for me, it sparks joy, and that's kind of the goal. Is there anything else? I'm looking. I don't think there's anything else today in this video. I am going to still consider this day 21 in my 30 non-consecutive days of magic, and I'm going to keep on going. So I hope you have a wonderful, blessed, healthy, happy 2021, and I hope this year we will be able to see each other and hug friends and go places and just have a happy new year. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I love you. Take care of you. Peace.